Hello, my name's David Jurenko, and for a while I've been wanting to do some reviews on some of my older engines, or actually all my engines. And with everything going on lately and the cost of engines going up, I've noticed on the forums that people are actually talking about, what about this engine? What about that engine? Anybody have one? How do you like it? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to start this review process. So I'm going to do older train reviews, so I'm going to call it, and I'm going to go over older engines, cabooses, baggage cars, passenger cars, stuff like that. Old K-line heavyweight sets, stuff that I've got. So anyway, let's get started. This is my layout. It's not real big, but this is my train room. And I'm lucky enough to be in the DFW area where we have a club called the Lone Star High Railers. And they have a car, a baggage car, and they have a layout inside it, which is only 15 minutes away. So if I really want a huge layout, I just run up there and run there. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. So for our first review on older train reviews, we have the Lionel GP30. This was seen in the catalog of 2002 for about $400, $399, and it came in B&O, Rio Grande, and as you can see, I got the rating. The model was very well detailed. Many people have asked, where was the adjustment for the sound? The sound adjustment was right here. Right there in the main fuel tank on the left side. Inside of it, right here, and adjust that, get that over, is where the battery went. And it can be a pain to get on and off. Be careful of this little item. That's the cover for the smoke. That gets lost very easily. The model was very well detailed. Unfortunately, it was early Odyssey, and this engine suffers from a slight stutter when it first takes off. As soon as it's going, it's absolutely fine. But it suffers from a little stutter as soon as it takes off, and we'll show you that when it comes up. Being from 2002, it only has 4 speed steps. Early Odyssey with the ring magnet. Smoking, what can you say about early Lionels that smoked in the TMCC era? It smoked adequately, and that's about the best you can say. But if you take the smoke unit apart, redo it, repack it, and get it all tucked around the resistor, and this one had a little sleeve, and Lionel suggested getting rid of the sleeve. If you do that, it smokes a heck of a lot better. And the reason you cut the sleeve off is because it would crystallize or get hard, and it would not absorb the smoke fluid anymore. So if you get rid of that, it smokes a lot better. As a matter of fact, I like this engine so much, I got a second one, the 5518. But as you can see, the little cover got lost. That's why I say, watch out for the covers. I'm trying to think of other things to say. Oh, while we're at it, underneath it only has 2 pickup rollers. But these are adequate. I haven't had any trouble or electrical problems with these. A lot of the newer ones have 4 pickup rollers. The sound is right here underneath the fuel tank. The engine is fairly easy to take apart. There's 4 screws that you take out, and that's all there is to it. The switches, control switches for program, run, TMCC are here, and I believe there's one right here. So all your switches are there. This engine has been a very good runner. Would I buy this engine again? Absolutely. I like this engine. So next up, we're going to run the engine, show you the stutter, and any other additional things that I can show you about this engine. Okay, I apologize, but I'm not very good at doing reviews like this, but I'm sure I'm going to get a lot better because I got a lot of engines to do and a lot of stuff. And I'm going to try to do 1 a month, maybe 2 a month. So that's it for that, and let's move on. Oh, one more thing. This engine, like I said, originally cost $400, but I believe I got it for about $350. Because in those days you could get about 20% off. Now you only get about 10% off. But you can find these engines. Let me check my notes here. I found it on eBay for about $300. So, that being said, if you like the Rio Grande, the B&O, and they came out with some other items in other liveries in the 2004 catalog, you might like this engine. Like I said, I am very pleased with this engine. It's been a good runner, very reliable. The other thing I'm going to do is, to help save you some time, one of the links I'm going to put is directly to this engine and the catalog, and I found a link to Lionel where they have old catalogs all the way back to about 2000, which I didn't know they had archived. But I'm also going to include that link. So if you want to look at catalogs that are farther back than the ones that you can normally find on the website, I will have those catalogs at the very bottom, and the links will be there. So that's it for now. Okay, so we're going to activate the engine so that you need to hear the sound, go over everything, show you the smoke. Okay, engine 13. Start up. There's the horn. There's the bell. I'm going to activate the smoke so it can get going. Turn the bell off. I'm going to increase the speed steps, which should also increase the smoke. And here we go with the speed steps. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. You can start to see the smoke coming out. This is the best that I could get it going. I've rebuilt the smoke unit in this one, and I rebuilt the smoke unit in 5518. It smokes a lot better than it did when I first got it, I have to admit. But the engines that were built, let's bring this down. The early engines for TMCC that were built around 2000 or slightly before with the Odyssey, they smoked, they didn't smoke the greatest. But if you rebuilt them, you could get them to smoke a lot better. Okay, so here's some of the crew talk sounds. is the memory wasn't large enough. So if you hit the tower talk, you got an inaudible message like this. But as the kids say today, it is, or it was what it was. It's a lot better now. And she's smoking pretty good now, as you can see. So, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the stutter, but as it initially takes off, you're going to see a very slight stutter. It's not that big a deal, because once it gets going, you don't see it anymore. But here we go. And I'm going to put it on momentum low, which kind of makes it stand out a little bit. And I don't know if you can see that, but it stutters a little bit. If you put it on momentum high, it does not stutter as much. It still stutters a little, but not as much. So let me hit reverse, and we'll do it again. You can see the stutter's almost entirely gone in high. So let's go with low again. And there's the stutter. First direction. A little bit of a stutter. Momentum high. And a tiny bit, but not as much. Okay. And that's it for the Lionel 5513 Redding. Would I buy this engine again? Yes, I would. I really like this engine. Now, what we're going to show you next is something, since I've got two of the same, I'm going to show you how to do a Lashup with both engines. I'm not going to hook them together so you can see how that they're actually tracking with each other and one is not dragging the other. So we'll do that next, and that'll be the end of review number 1. Hello, slight correction. When I referred to the speed steps of 4, I was actually referring to the sound steps. I apologize for that. The early TMCC engines with Odyssey had 32 speed steps and 4 sound steps. So that is a correction, and that is what they actually had. So anyway, just wanted to correct that. And just so you can see, here is most of the stuff that I am going to review at one time or another in the future. And now back to the video. Okay, so today we're also going to show you how to do a Lashup. And I've got my notes here. Yes, it's fairly easy, but I don't want to make any mistakes. So I'm going to show you the controller as I do it, and hopefully this will work without a problem and we won't have to re-video this. So, we're going to do train number 7. So, train 7, 13 for the first engine, forward, and then set, and the engine should do something. And it starts up. Now we're going to do the rear engine. So we're going to do train 7, engine 18. Do not hit engine, just go straight from 7 to 13. Rear, because it's the rear engine. Then we hit the direction key to say that it's backwards. And then we hit set. And it starts up. I do not have these engines connected. This is to show you that they're tracking together. One of the things you have to remember is if one of your engines is set to say low momentum and high momentum, they'll remember that while it's in the Lashup. The way to get around that is while it's in the Lashup, we're going to go train 7. We'll blow the horn to make sure we're talking to it. And we are. And then we're going to hit high momentum. Both engines should now be in high momentum. So let's see what happens when we advance the throttle. And as you can see, they're tracking just fine together. So let's stop it. Now we're going to reverse direction. This one lights up, the other engine goes off. Now we're going to... Oh, that worked real well. As you can see, sometimes it doesn't always work with the momentum. This one started off quick, this one didn't. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit it again. We're going to hit momentum high, and let's give it another shot. There we go. Now they're moving together. It's not an exact science. You would think it is, but sometimes it doesn't always work. So let's direction again. And there we go. So now they're both at high momentum. Okay. And as you can see, they've closed the gap here slightly. So two engines, even the same type, same manufacturing, don't always run exactly the same speed. But that's fine, because this one would have the cars behind it, which would have a little bit more tug, and it doesn't matter, you just push that engine. So anyway, that's how you do a lash-up. To remove them from the lash-up, you do a similar thing, except you use train 0, which does not exist. So we'll remove the front engine first. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you, sorry about that, is I will show you when we're done. Okay, so we're going to remove the front engine. Train 0, 13 set. That engine took it. Now what I wanted to show you was engine 18, and this is important. If you create a lash-up, if you put the engine in the reverse direction, as engine 18 is, when you run that engine separately, it will run in the reverse direction. So what we're going to do is, we're going to shut engine 13 down. We're going to remove him from the track, and there he is off. Now we're just running with engine 18. Engine 18 has not been moved from the lash-up. So I'm going to reset engine 18. So we're going to go engine 18, aux 0. It's been reset, but it's still in the lash-up. I haven't removed it. So it's going to go forward. Here we go. Up, it goes backwards. Why? Because it remembers, even though it's running as a single engine, I'm in the lash-up. I have to run backwards. So if I go direction, now it'll run correctly. So when you have an engine that's been put in a lash-up in the reverse direction, it's going to want to take off as the normal startup forward or backwards, rear end first. So the way to solve that is you have to remove that engine from the lash-up, and we're going to do that now. So train 0, 18 set. Now to make sure that everything's good, we're going to reset engine 18 to 0. The engine is totally reset now. If you remember, it took off in reverse. Now when we go, it should take off forward like it's normally supposed to do. And it does. So the moral of the story is, if you create a lash-up, you might want to remove your engines from the lash-up. Okay, well, that's it. This is my first review on these engines. I'm going to have a lot more to come. Do I like the engine? I love the engine. As you can see, I bought a second engine. So, if you're looking for a Reading Lines or a Rio Grande or any of these GP30s of the early, you can't go wrong. But you got to remember, it's early Odyssey, it's early TMCC, it is not Legacy. It's going to have 4 speed steps, and they're not going to have all the, literally, the bells, whistles, and all the talking. It's got a bell and a whistle, but all the talking is not there. So just so you know. But other than that, it's a great running engine, and when you rebuild the smoke unit, it's a great smoker. Okay, well that's it for review number 1. Thanks for coming by, and we'll do another one hopefully in 2 weeks. Okay, you have a nice day. Bye.